right, let's talk about Project 2, Writing in Your Field. So I'm back in Moodle here, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Project 2, Writing in Your Field, and pull this project up. So for this assignment, you're going to be asked to conduct research and write about your chosen field of study. You'll be required to interview at least one professional in your field and to analyze documents composed by professionals in your field. In addition to interviewing a professional, you might want to contact a student who's currently majoring in your field to inquire about the kinds of writing you will need to do to earn a degree in that field. It's a nice way to make a connection with an advanced student on campus and to find out what to expect in the years to come. So the objectives for the assignment are, I want you to gain some familiarity for how writing is done in your field, including student and professional writing. And again, the student isn't required, but the professional interview is. I want you to develop some professional communication skills through face-to-face and computer-mediated conversations. You've got to contact someone and set up an interview and conduct that interview. I want you to practice finding and integrating multiple types of sources into your writing. So in this case, the primary documents you'll collect, as well as the interviews that you conduct. And of course, I want you to integrate what you're learning in this class into an analysis of the documents that are composed by professionals in your field, and to practice some primary data collection and learn about the ethics of primary research. And you'll learn more about that in the video on interviewing. So again, for the second project, you're going to do some research in which you'll examine how writing and maybe some other communication practices are done in your field of study. Your research will consist of an interview. You'll interview one practicing professional from your field and write about your findings, who you interviewed, what that person does, what types of documents they write, how they approach writing, and so forth. And again, you can also interview a major in your field if you wish to do that. That would just provide you with a little bit more data to record in your document. You're also going to collect some primary documents, a minimum of 3 documents, or examples of how writing is done in your field. So it could be emails or memos, patient reports, and such. You'll do a short rhetorical analysis of those documents, just like we did for Project 1. So I don't want you to think that the only thing that people write anymore is essays. You might find someone who's willing to share an email, a professional email, a report, a white paper, maybe some notes or a presentation they gave you. Additional materials, and this is after you've collected your primary data. You can find some writing guides, books, or other secondary materials that can help you construct an essay examining the writing that's done in your field. In conducting your research, you're really going to be answering the following questions. Where and when is writing used? How do people in your field write? What format is the writing in? What are some of the written conventions for writing in your field? They may be different than what you're learning in 150, but you want to learn how to analyze writing in such a way that you can figure out what the conventions are for each new writing task you engage in. What are some other forms of communication? So how else is information transmitted in the field? Skype interviews? Videos? Are there professional listservs or conferences that people attend? Much of your information will be gained from that interview. That's a key piece of this project, and it's required. You simply cannot pass this project without completing the interview. But you can do a little bit of additional digging with some library research or looking online at professional communities. Your audience for this assignment is people who are new to your field or people who are interested in learning about more about communication practices in your field. As usual, your essay will be composed in 12-point Times New Roman font, double-spaced with a 1-inch margin. This piece is going to be between 4 and 6 pages long. 3 pages or less than 3 is likely not going to be enough space for you to fully develop this project. But you have to choose and pick from what you learn, so I'm insisting that you not go over 6 pages with this particular assignment. Deliverables. You're going to need to turn in your final copy. Your interview subject's signed informed consent form. and we'll talk about that in the interview video. The 3 sample documents that you collected, I want those submitted, and of course your reflection on this assignment. Now let's look at the grading standards for Project 2, and some of these will be familiar. If you want to earn an A on this particular project, then your work needs to suggest that you've identified a clear approach in gathering, reporting, and synthesizing your research, and you've performed that analysis successfully by asking some important questions about the writing that's done by professionals in your field. Your work will illustrate a thorough understanding of how to conduct primary research and how to analyze those primary documents, how to rhetorically analyze those documents. Your work will of course illustrate a quality of thought that is generally ambitious and mature. Your work will suggest your ability to utilize ideas and insights gained from the reading and class discussions, and such use will involve incorporation of those insights into your analysis. Now here's something important. In order to get an A, you need to have all of the required elements, including at least 1 interview with a professional in your field and a rhetorical analysis of those 3 documents. Now let's look at the non-passing grades here. 1.0 to 1.9 and 0.0. In this case, any work that does not incorporate both your interview and your analysis of the documents will not receive a grade above 1.9. And in some cases, you may receive a 0 on this project if you have not conducted the primary research and gathered the necessary documents required for this particular project. Let me know if you have any questions, and make sure that you keep up with all of the readings and all of the videos for this particular project. This one's an important one. It's the 2nd major project in this class, so you want to make sure you stay on top of things.